Hello, this is Raina with LYLO Crafts coming to you from my backyard in the country, and I am so excited today to share these sweet, adorable, fun flip books. They are so easy to make and perfect for all kinds of things. You can put recipes on them and give them to your neighbors. You can put pictures of your kids or your grandkids and write activities that you did together. You can put them in your journal spot. So if any of you are like me, I keep saying I'm gonna do a December daily and I never do. But this way I could just record maybe 3 of the most special days of Christmas and stick this in my journal. You can also use this as a keepsake album, and it's so easy to make. Your kids or your grandkids can help out. Now that you've seen this one, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the next one, and then I'll show you how to make one. The second one is a gingerbread. So I've got shiny paper, foil paper here. It says Merry Christmas. I've got gingerbread, and I just used one ephemera pack for all this. I have so much left over that I'll show you, and I got that on AliExpress for like under $3. So here is a beautiful ruffle, and this time I used tulle in the top and I tied it with a red bow. So you can use anything you've got in your stash. I did not put in eyelets. So you do not need eyelets if you don't have an eyelet maker. And look, I've got the teddy bear, and I just stickled up all the parts that would be his fur. I added a few stickles to the tree and to the Let It Snow. In this last page, we've got these 2 sweet woodland creatures with the Merry Christmas lamppost and a sparkly star in the background. I've got fur on the bottom, and this time I put that flower here on the last page. So I just love the way that these 2 turned out. If you're enjoying the content of this video, I so would appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up. That helps me know that you are enjoying it. Comment and subscribe. They're so cute, and I can't wait to give them away. So let's go ahead and make one together. So the first thing I did was use this nesting die. So you can use any shape nesting die you have, and if you don't have one, you can just like cut them out in rectangles, because you could see I used a smaller nesting die, a medium nesting die, and then the back I did as a rectangle. So you could make them all rectangles if you would like. I would just make the measurement 1/2 inch smaller on the width and diameter as you go to make the other sizes. So what you need are 2 of the smallest pieces, 1 in some kind of Christmas paper that you have and 1 in white. You're gonna need 1 of the medium ones in the printed paper and 1 in white. And then you're also going to need this last one, and you'll need 1 in white. So if you're doing these like rectangles, what I did was I took this piece of 8.5 by 11 inch paper. So this is the short side, and I first cut it at 4.5, and then on this side, I cut it at 4 1/4, and that will give you 2 of these. So you don't waste any paper. Now the rest of the paper, this side right here, is where I cut these smaller pieces out of. So I did not have to use more than 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11. Okay, I'm gonna switch to my silicone work mat. And for this, we're gonna work on the medium one, and I'm gonna show you how to make the tulle ruffle. Now, I have this giant green roll of tulle that I bought on St. Patrick's Day at Hobby Lobby when it was 90% off. So it was $9.99, so I got this for $1. Yes, only $1. It's so inexpensive, and I have enough to last a lifetime. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we need to just cut off a length, and I'm gonna say this is probably about 15 inches in length, and I'm gonna fold my tulle in half, and then take your scissors and then just roughly cut this in half. Okay, so now you've got your 2 pieces of tulle. You're only gonna need 1, so you can save the other one and put that aside. And the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your tulle and you are going to fold it in half again. Where the end is, you're going to fold that over. I'm gonna put a dab of hot glue, and then take my little silicone sponge, or if you have like a finger protector, and go ahead and push that down. Once you have this first end hot glued down, you're gonna turn it over. I'm just going to put another dab of hot glue down and reattach my tool here. Okay, then you're just going to take your ends and you're going to kind of match them up together, the ends, and you can see that the folded side is to the right. So if your ends are jaggedy, no big deal, because they're not going to show at all. So what you're going to do is just take a bit of it and fold it over, and then put a dab of hot glue, and you're going to press, and you're just going to repeat that. So here again, I've got a little fold. I'm going to put a dab of hot glue, and I'm going to press that hot glue into place. Okay, so once you've done that, I just take my piece that I'm trying to make the ruffle for, and I want the ruffle to come right to the end. So that looks like about the right length. So I'm just going to go ahead and snip off the rest of my tool, and I'm going to put a little dab of hot glue down here. I'm going to turn this end under. Instead of over, we're just turning it under, and I'm going to put it right in the hot glue and push down. So now the beauty is it's silicone, so look, it just pulls right up. And I'm just going to put a bead of hot glue down, add my tool in. So I've got my tool on. Okay, so now I'm just going to add my wet glue around this part, and then again I'm going to put my hot glue along this edge where that tool is, and I'm going to line the two pieces up here. Now you can see I've got a little bit of this hot glue right there, so I'm going to just cut that off. There we go. Okay, so now we've got our beautiful tool on one side. So now we've got the right side and we've got the left side done. So all we need to do is the bottom. So we're going to do this fur right here. Now you can use tulle, you can use ribbon, you can use anything you have, felt, fabric, you do not have to use this. And I've gone ahead and just measured a piece out. Now here's the beauty, you only need half of it. So I'm going to fold this in half, and then I'm just going to cut it. And then the other thing is, this is wired ribbon. So I'm going to take the wire out of the ribbon. Just going to glue this bottom piece on. And what you're more concerned about is what it looks like on the edge versus what it looks like on the inside. So if you cut it a little crooked like I did, it's okay because it's straight on the bottom. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Switch. Okay, I'm lining the edges up and I'm pressing that all down in place. Okay, so the next thing that I did on these was I went ahead and I inked on the white card side. So I am using Vintage Photo. I'm just going to take my dauber and just go over these edges like this. Now I should have probably did this before I put the trim on, but you can just bend the trim back just like I did to get all the sides. Next, we're going to punch the holes in the top. So I'm just going to line these up, and I'm going to try and make them approximately even on each side, meaning that there's the same amount of paper showing, not necessarily with the tool. Okay, so then I've got my 3 all lined up, and I'm just going to take my little crocodile punch and come in maybe about an inch and a quarter from the side. We've got our holes punched in, and now the fun part, we get to decorate. So what I like to do is kind of lay out what I'm going to put on each one before I go ahead and glue it down. Okay, Okay, and for the last one, I am going to put this little sleigh with this bird perched on top, the snowflake and star in the background, pointing them to the tree farm. And I'm going to put this little bow that I made on top. So I'm going to glue all this down and be right back. Okay, now you've got all three decorated, and this is the perfect project to do with your kids or with your grandkids. They could be making something for their parents or their grandparents with you. Now is the perfect time to go ahead and add the stickles and allow it to dry. I like to add the stickles to where I think there's like fur for Santa. So all I'm doing is dotting it. So I'm just dotting because I don't want it to be solid. I want it to give the illusion of his fluffy beard. I'm gonna put it down here too on his fluffy fur trim. And I'm even gonna put it around this fur, around the heart, and then on his pocket. And whatever you add stickles to is what your eye will be drawn to. Okay, so the last process is to go ahead and bind these together. And I am just going to use tulle. So I have cut out a length of tulle that is 13 inches or 12 inches in length. I've got a green one and I've got a silver one. And I am gonna try and thread these through both together. So what I'm gonna do is take the ends of the tulle and I'm gonna twist them together. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this through. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. When you've got it all through them, you're just going to pull it on through until it's about halfway done. And we'll do this very same thing on the other side. I've got it pulled through on both sides. What I'm gonna do is just flip these to make sure that I've got enough slack in the tulle. And what I'm gonna do then is now just tie a bow right here. Once you've got the bows tied, if you've got any excess ribbon, you're just gonna go ahead and trim. And then I like to cut on the diagonal. I think that looks so good. And then the last step is just to trim off the top. And so I'm gonna use like 4 fingers as my guideline, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. And I just love the way that turned out. Now, if you want to add bells, now would be the time. You would just go ahead and tie them right on to this tulle right here. So there you have it. We've got this all done. So thank you so much for spending time with me today. I know your time is valuable. I hope you had some fun and got some creative ideas for Christmas. And I hope you have an amazing day. Bye-bye.